Some wounds don't scream, they whisper. And you don't notice the moment you start abandoning yourself. It doesn't happen with a loud crash. It happens in the quiet places, the places no one else sees. It's the first time you say, "It's okay," when it absolutely isn't. The first time you swallow your own truth, just so someone else can stay comfortable. The first time you let a boundary slide, telling yourself it's just for now, just this once. This is how it begins, not with a dramatic collapse, but with a slow, quiet unraveling of the person you were trying so hard to become. There's a name for this. Psychology calls it attachment-based self-sacrifice. It's a survival pattern, one that's learned in childhood, in a home where love felt like something you had to earn, often by disappearing. Maybe you grew up believing your emotions were too much for other people to handle. Maybe the people who were supposed to care for you only stayed close when you stayed quiet. Or maybe for you, conflict never felt like a conversation. It always felt like danger. So you learned to adapt. You learned to shrink. You learned to make yourself smaller than your own needs. And as a child, that was protection. That was survival. But as an adult, that same strategy becomes a prison. And here's the part people rarely understand. You don't abandon yourself because you want to. You abandon yourself because your nervous system, deep down, believes it is the only way to stay safe. Think about it. When someone pulls away, your instinct is to give more. When someone disrespects you, you might soften your voice instead of raising it. When someone treats you like you're replaceable, you work even harder to prove you're not. It can feel like loyalty, this intense dedication, but it's not. It's fear. It's the fear that if you stop overgiving, the connection will just disappear. The fear that setting a boundary will make them leave. The fear that choosing yourself, for once, means losing someone else. This is the psychological root of it all. You find yourself drawn to people who recreate the emotional conditions of your childhood. If love meant constantly working for affection, you'll find yourself working for it now. If love meant staying silent, you'll silence yourself now. You're not addicted to the person, you're addicted to the pattern. Because the pattern, no matter how much it hurts, is familiar, and the familiar is powerful. But here is a truth that most people never get to hear. Self-abandonment isn't the loss of love for yourself. It's the loss of permission to love yourself. Somewhere along the way, you learned that your needs were negotiable, that love required sacrifice, that being close to someone required erasing parts of yourself. And now, every single time you choose someone else over you, it feels like the right thing to do, even when your body is screaming that it's destroying you. But your reactions are not shameful. They are symptoms. They are the echoes of a nervous system that was shaped by survival. Self-abandonment is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that you learned to endure what should have broken you. And the very first step toward healing is seeing that pattern for what it is. It's the moment you finally realize, I haven't been choosing them over me. I've been choosing safety over my own truth. And that is where real transformation begins. Healing begins the moment you stop asking, why am I like this? And start asking, who taught me this was the only way to be loved? Because self-abandonment isn't a personality flaw. It's an inherited script, written by the people who shaped your earliest understanding of connection. In trauma psychology, this moment is called reparenting awareness, the realization that the child you once were is still trying to survive inside the adult you've become. This is why you stay in relationships where you give more than you receive. This is why you tolerate behaviors that break you. This is why you apologize for emotions that never needed apology. You're not trying to win them over. You're trying to win a version of love you were never given. And here is the truth that changes everything. Every act of self-abandonment is a negotiation with fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of being unwanted. Fear that the real you is too risky to reveal. But here's the breakthrough most people never reach. You weren't abandoned because you were unlovable. You were abandoned because the people you needed didn't know how to love themselves. Your worth was never the problem. their capacity was. And once you see that clearly, something inside you shifts. You stop chasing love that harms you. You stop explaining your pain to people committed to misunderstanding it. You stop shrinking to fit inside environments that were never meant to hold the full version of you. This is the heart of healing self-abandonment. Choosing yourself in moments where your past would have chosen survival. It sounds like, no, that doesn't work for me. I won't pretend I'm okay when I'm not. My needs matter just as much as theirs. I'm allowed to walk away from what hurts. And the world won't collapse when you do. What actually collapses is the illusion that your worth depends on your usefulness. Differentiation, the psychological ability to stay connected while staying true to yourself, becomes your new compass. You begin honoring your truth, even when it disrupts old patterns. You begin setting boundaries, not to control others, but to protect your peace. You begin listening to the quiet parts of you that were silenced for years. Self-abandonment ends the moment you decide your safety doesn't depend on self-erasure. It ends when you choose the discomfort of growth over the comfort of familiarity. It ends when you finally give yourself the love you've been giving to everyone else. And that's when you realize your life didn't fall apart because you chose yourself. It fell apart every time you didn't.